Marriage is the only major life decision where the largest long-term study we have says the happiness boost wears off in about 2 years, and people still line up for it in white. Now wait, because I am not about to tell you that staying single is the answer either. That is the other half of this, and it is the half nobody covers honestly. Here is why you have not worked this out yet, and it is not because you are slow. Almost every headline you have read compared married people to unmarried people. And unmarried is not a group. It quietly lumps together people who never married, people who got divorced, and people who buried a husband or a wife. Widowed people come out as the loneliest group in this research, over and over. So when you average a grieving 68-year-old widow in with a 31-year-old who is single and perfectly fine, of course marriage looks like it wins. You did not read a finding. You read an averaging trick. By the end of this, you are going to know exactly what each option charges you, in what currency, and which bill you are already behind on. I am your brutal bestie. I do not do comfort, I do clarity. Let us get into it. Start with the number that upsets people. Richard Lucas and his colleagues followed more than 24,000 people in Germany for 15 years. Not different people compared side by side. The same people before they married, during, and after. On average, life satisfaction rose around the wedding, and then came back down to roughly where that person already was before they ever met their spouse. Not lower, back. They reanalyzed it later with more waves of data, and the answer held. The average person does not get a lasting boost in life satisfaction from getting married. Sit with what that actually says, because people misread it constantly. It does not say marriage is bad. It says marriage does not change your baseline. You carry yourself into it. Whoever you were at 29 is standing at that altar with you. Now here's where I have to be honest in a way most channels will not be. Other researchers looked at British data, controlled for how happy people were before they married, and still found married people more satisfied. So the research genuinely disagrees with itself. And that disagreement is the most useful thing in this whole video. Because when careful people looking at the same question get different answers, it almost always means the real variable is hiding inside the categories. It is not married versus single. It is something underneath both. So let me give you what is underneath. I call it the 3 bills. Every relationship status charges you in 3 currencies: freedom, connection, and certainty. Freedom is your time, your money, your choices, your right to move to another city on 6 weeks' notice without a 4-hour conversation about it. Connection is everybody else. Your friends, your siblings, your parents, your neighbors, the group chat you used to answer. Certainty is knowing who is coming to the hospital, who notices if you go quiet for 3 days, whose name is on the form. Marriage charges you freedom and connection, and it buys you certainty. Being single charges you certainty, and it lets you keep freedom and connection. Nobody gets all 3. Anyone selling you all 3 is selling you a wedding. And the connection bill is the one nobody warns you about, so let me show you the receipt. Sociologists have looked at this repeatedly, and married people are less in touch with their friends, their neighbors, their parents, and their siblings than single people are. Not slightly, consistently. Researchers literally call marriage a greedy institution because it takes your social energy and spends it on one person. Robert Putnam went looking for evidence that marriage builds community and found the reverse. Married people stay home. So when your single friend seems to have a bigger life than you, they are not imagining it. They actually do have more people. You traded 9 relationships for 1 and told yourself it was maturity. That is the bill. And most people pay it without ever seeing the invoice, which is exactly why it hits you at 40, when you look around and realize your entire support system is one person who is currently annoyed with you. Now flip it, because single people are not getting away with anything either. The single bill is certainty, and it does not get charged evenly. It does not hurt on a Saturday. Being single on a Saturday is genuinely great. It hits at about 2 in the morning after bad news. It hits in a waiting room. It hits when you are ill, and you have to work out whether this is a bother somebody's situation. You already know exactly which moments I mean because your body just answered before your brain did. And that bill compounds. At 27, it is a feeling. At 57, it is a logistics problem. Anybody telling single people that it never gets heavier is lying to be kind. And I do not do that here. Quick pause, and this one is relevant to you specifically. Once a month on my Patreon, we run something called Topic Day. Every member comments one video topic they want made, just one, so everyone counts the same. Then it goes to a poll, and the top 4 become the videos I actually make. So if there's a version of this you wanted and did not get, the situation you are actually in, the question you have never seen anyone answer properly, that is where you put it, and that is how it gets made. Members also get videos I do not post here at all. Link is in the description. And while you are down there, I am building something. It is the version of me that answers you at 2 in the morning about your actual relationship with your actual details, and it does not tell your cousin. The waitlist is open. The lifetime offer is going to the people on it first, and I am not saying more than that yet, right? Back to it. Because there is a third option in this, and it is the one that ruins the whole debate: a bad marriage. Researchers followed people in long-term, low-quality marriages, and those people reported lower happiness, lower life satisfaction, lower self-esteem, and worse overall health than people who stayed in otherwise stable marriages. There was also evidence they did worse than people who divorced. Worse than people who divorced and remarried, and worse than people who divorced and stayed single. Which means the ranking is not married, then single. It is good marriage, then single, then bad marriage, a long way down. A bad marriage is the only option that charges you every bill at once. It takes your freedom, it takes your friends, and then it does not even give you the certainty because you are lying next to the person and still not sure they would show up. So, what actually separates a good marriage from an expensive one? There is one variable that keeps appearing, and it is almost embarrassingly simple: whether your spouse is also your best friend. Researchers using British data found the well-being benefit of marriage was about twice as large for people who named their spouse as their best friend. Twice. Same institution, same vows, same mortgage, completely different outcome depending on one question. And here's the part I want you to sit with. In that data, 64% of married men named their wife as their best friend. Only 48% of married women said the same about their husband. So a lot of women are somebody's best friend and have nobody as theirs. That is not a marriage problem. That is a woman who paid the connection bill and did not get the certainty she was promised. One more thing for anyone who has already been through it. Lucas followed more than 30,000 people across 18 years and found that satisfaction drops as you approach a divorce, then climbs back over the following years, but not all the way to where you started. And people who eventually divorced were already slightly less happy than people who stayed married, even before either group ever got married. So divorce is not a clean reset. It is a cost you keep paying a little of. That is not a reason to stay. It is a reason to choose better next time, with your eyes fully open. So here's the whole thing in one line. You are not choosing between happy and lonely. You are choosing which bill you can afford to pay for the next 30 years. Stop asking whether you should get married. Ask which of the 3 currencies you are lowest on right now and whether the option in front of you tops it up or drains it further. If you are single and rich in friends and dying for certainty, that is one answer. If you are married and drowning in certainty and have not laughed with a friend since 2019, that is a completely different one, and it does not require leaving anyone. Aware, not naive. That is exactly who you are becoming. If this changed something in how you see your own situation, subscribe. Of the 3 bills, freedom, connection, and certainty, which one are you currently behind on?